Why am I coming out of only one channel? I think it's because Mongo chewed the wires again. Regardless, here's your Dungeon Master, Rob Card.
Hello and welcome to The Next Level. We are here doing some character interviews. And this time around, we're interviewing Dee. Dee, tell us a little bit about your character.
All right. So my character's name is Leone. I can't remember their last name, but they are a noble from Emertan. They are definitely a prodigy of the arcane arts, a wizard, high elf, kind of probably looks like your typical snooty high elf, but would quickly be recognized as being much more tolerant and accepting of other people, and much more willing to be helpful and kind and generous than you would initially expect.
All right. And what are some things you might want the other characters to know about you? Some of them you've known a little bit longer than others. So
yeah. So one of the things that people would notice right away is that they never do any kind of manual labor at all, ever. That's not to say that they don't do their part, because they always do their part. They just use mage hand or an unseen servant to get, and that will look after everything for them. They tend to be quite frail and definitely not on the healthy side, so it's kind of clear that they just don't even have the stamina for doing that. So they always use their brain rather than using any kind of muscle, which actually, except possibly in combat, because where you expect that they might be someone who would fall back on their magic and everything, they're much more likely to actually pull out their longbow and even use their short sword when it comes down to combat.
Okay. You already said where you're from, but where does your character say you're from?
Oh yeah, so the name of it says from Emertan, which is kind of the birthplace of magic and the birthplace of people, and again, a noble and has like a proud heritage and everything. Yeah.
All right. And any goals, big things they want to accomplish?
Other than learning everything that they can about the arcane arts, they don't really have any kind of clear goal. They were kind of discovered out in the wilderness, where they definitely looked like they'd been out in the wilderness for a long time, except their clothing and everything was still immaculate because of magic. But yeah, don't really have any clear goals other than kind of staying with the group that they've found, which is why they're kind of fitting the bill for staying in the fancier place, because they're like, well, I'm not staying in a not fancy place, but I don't want my friends to not be with me, so we will all stay here together.
All right. Anybody in Silver Lake that they've gotten to know in the relatively short time that they're there?
Mostly been keeping to themselves, but there is one fellow that they can be seen at the inn that they're staying at, a balding fellow who they will be seen sitting chatting about magic, which anybody else who comes by undoubtedly would fall asleep. But yeah, definitely having those long, in-depth, very academic discussions about the intricacies of magic. Yeah.
All right. And let's get your mini to open up. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. Alright. And the stickers were sticky, as I remember.
Hopefully we got the right one.
Hopefully. Yep.
Yay.
There we go. Cool. So you can see, definitely magic user, but like I mentioned, they have the longbow that they're always using. Went with a wand just because they didn't have an option for a walking stick, but I should mention a specialization in conjuration, so it's always making something. So when it comes to eating food, is making their own plate or making their own cup, especially on the road. Usually have a walking stick that they create, or they might just make like a diadem or something like that. So that's kind of to represent that.
All right. Thank you for introducing us to Leone, and that's it for this interview. We'll be talking again shortly with another of the characters. Thank you.